Amechi said he will only run for one time. Peter B said he will only run for one time.
No, not run. That they will stay in power.
I mean, he will just run for. He will do only 4 years because
Run and being president, they said they will be there for one time.
So the question is that don't you think that narrative will go far in the minds of those who think that the rotational presidency concept
the beauty
is favorable?
You know how I like to have my conversations? I try to have conversations that are devoid of emotion and just play with logic. The reason I use logic is because even though logic thinks the number of people that can agree with you, at least it makes you feel better that this thing is not a noise-making exercise. It's not a shouting exercise. It's just logic. So now, the current president, if he wins, cannot run again based on the Nigerian constitution as it is. If Asiwaju wins in 2027, he has to hand over on the 29th of May, 2031. No, you don't have to appeal to his good nature. You don't have to appeal to anything. It is not in his hands. If he wins a second time, he has to hand over in 2031. Any other person, apart from Goodluck Jonathan, in this country as it is, any other person that is able to run in 2037 does not have to hand over in 2031. As a rational human being who knows what power does to people, who knows how power doesn't change them, makes them realize the ability, the agency, the capacity and capability and opportunity that they have, and to get away with certain things, who would they trust to have that power? A rational person would trust somebody that doesn't have to make the decision. A rational person would just trust that at least they will trust the law, that no matter what happens, this person that has spent one time before has to go, versus somebody that you have to go and be reminded. I don't know if you, first of all, you cannot even go and remind the president. You cannot go and remind the Nigerian president. I don't know if you remember when you were running in 2027, you said you will do, because don't forget, nobody is the president alone. You preside as a group. So let's be clear.
Yeah, but I mean,
it is easier said. Yeah. Do you know there's nobody that has ever been president that comes and says, apart from Mandela, and Mandela's condition was a very different condition. Go and check. And again, I already said about outliers. We are not going to use outliers to make judgment. We're going to make judgments based on the norm. The norm says that nobody that has a chance to run again has stepped away from running. And that's what it is.
I mean, you made an argument and you said Peter Obi lacks political structure in the villages and at the grassroots level. But if you look at the figures and what came out of the election of 2023, Obi won in places like Lagos and Abuja.
I'm happy for him.
And these are strongholds where even well-established parties with traditional structures struggled. How do you respond to those who view these not as a weakness, but as evidence of a new kind of political movement or evolution that's taking shape in Nigeria?
You know, the funny thing about Obi's position in 2023, even if he had the most number of votes, they were not going to declare him as president.
Why?
Very good question. Because he didn't win enough votes in 2/3 of Nigeria states.
25%.
He did not. So the point still stands. The point still stands. Obi's numbers beyond certain points they were not representative of somebody that had gotten the big numbers he got in Abuja and the Lagos of this world. They were mediocre. They were a reflection of somebody who's not national. The beauty of the Nigerian Constitution is that the Nigerian Constitution doesn't care, just like every constitution, it doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about your feelings.
Your assumptive positioning.
The beauty of my conversation.
Just remember, your assumptive position about 2027 and the kind of confidence that you are having is as though you think that there is no contest for Bola Tinubu and the APC
I have
in
never said
2027.
that,
I said your assumptive positioning.
Yeah,
and
the one
your
assuming for me, brother.
Just for a moment. Your argument is tending towards the fact that in 2027, it's going to be an uphill task for anybody to beat Bola Tinubu.
I didn't even say that.
Do you think that is beatable in 2027?
I didn't say that.
Do you think it's beatable?
Anytime somebody goes in the ring, they can be beaten.
And there are those who think that if Atiku,
anytime
Atiku will have an opportunity if it pairs off with Peter Obi to defeating Bola Tinubu and the APC.
Just to be clear, by the way, I'm a boxing fan. If you get in that ring, you can be beaten. Now, it doesn't mean that
Bola Tinubu can be beaten.
Anybody can be beaten. Anybody can. If President Bola Tinubu does not ensure that the Nigerian economy is stable, if he doesn't do his numbers well with respect to the politics, they'll beat him. And that's why he's balancing governance with politics, because he knows that anybody can be beaten. Now, he comes in as a Usyk who is invincible. President Bola Tinubu has never lost an election. That's a gift and a curse. It's a gift because it gives you a sense of invincibility. It's a curse because if you dwell too much on it, you could get knocked out by a sucker punch. Hashim Rahman beat Lennox Lewis in South Africa in a match where people thought Lennox Lewis was just going to, walk over it. The only beauty of that design is that in boxing, you can have a rematch, and by the time the rematch came, Lennox Lewis had woken up to the danger of a sucker punch, and it was a walkover. So as long as you're getting in the ring, you have to understand that even though it looks like you can beat this person, you cannot make yourself susceptible to a sucker punch. So let's be clear. I don't do assumptions. I say things. But
do you fear the pair of Atiku and Peter Obi if they are able to make a comeback?
Why should I fear? What's my own with fear?
I'm saying that you are of the opinion that Tinubu is a candidate to beat.
First of all, forget Tinubu. Anybody who is on the throne is a candidate to beat. Because sometimes people think it's about the individual. The design of elections, go and check the statistics.
Do you think Tinubu is invincible?
First of all, it's not what I think. He's been invincible so far. It's not about think, it's about statistics. But that's a different thing. Go and check the design of elections over history. Incumbents always win re-election. So that's one. Now combine that.
Except in 2015.
That's why I said always. And always means that there are situations that, so more than 50% of the time, incumbents win elections. So head or tail, incumbents will always take precedence over being beaten. They always come back over not coming back. That's one. Then combine that with these incumbents who is so far invincible at the polls. I think that that's a very powerful combination, and that's considerable. Even his enemy, is anybody who doesn't like him, who wants to beat him, has to think with this understanding in mind that one, just by design of incumbency and history, is an advantage position. Two, just by his own personal history of elections, it brings that advantage, and that's an intersection of two very strong advantages. If you think like that, then you begin to design yourself better.